Today we are here surrounded by untouched nature, where the eye gets lost in the horizon and adventure begins instantly. This is the perfect setting to introduce today's new arrival, the new Ducati DesertX. To develop the second generation of the Ducati DesertX, we listened to feedback from enthusiasts and lovers of the maxi enduro world. Today, to discover all the new features, I'll take you along for the ride with me and we'll talk to the people who developed this motorcycle. This isn't the most suitable outfit for off-road riding, so I'm going to go change. But in the meantime, let's dive into the details of the new Ducati DesertX, and we'll do it with Marco Broaden, the project manager for the bike. We'll take a look together. Chassis, engine, and braking system.
Let's start with the new beating heart of the DesertX, the 890 cubic centimeters V2 engine. It stands out from its main competitors thanks to its 90-degree V architecture, a solution that ensures balance, smoothness, and a particularly refined engine response. One of the main innovations is the variable intake timing, which helps make the power delivery extremely full and smooth at low revs, while still maintaining a pronounced sportiness at medium and high revs. In fact, 70% of the maximum torque is already available at 3000 RPM. This feature is fundamental for off-road riding. At the first twist of the throttle, the immediate torque helps you overcome obstacles, while on the road, it ensures great riding pleasure. Thanks to the riding modes, you can select different engine maps and customize the bike's character, making it more intuitive and enjoyable in any situation. We are talking about an extremely advanced project. Just think, this is the lightest V2 engine ever made by Ducati. The new traditional distribution system uses innovative hollow valves and has made it possible to optimize maintenance. Valve clearance checks are now scheduled every 45,000 kilometers, while oil changes are required every 15,000 kilometers or every 2 years. A benchmark for the category. The new V2 delivers 110 horsepower with a maximum torque of 92 Newton meters. Clearly, the engine is not the only area we have worked on. The chassis and structural elements have in fact been completely redesigned from scratch. The new frame is a monocoque made of aluminum, a solution that allows for weight reduction while at the same time integrating the airbox. Thanks to the new positioning of the filter, disassembly and cleaning operations are much simpler and faster, with a direct impact on routine maintenance. At the rear, there is a steel trellis subframe designed to integrate the linkage of the monocoque and to simplify all maintenance activities, thereby contributing to a reduction in costs. The adoption of the new engine and the new construction layout of the frame, subframe, and swing arm have made it possible to increase torsional rigidity, a factor that improves the handling, precision, and intuitive riding experience of the new DesertX. To ensure greater stability during off-road riding, we have a steering damper that helps reduce sudden reactions from the front end when speeds get high. Overall, we can say that the entire motorcycle has been designed to be even more robust and easier to maintain, as well as even more enjoyable and precise to ride. We have added components to achieve this goal while simultaneously working on weight reduction, which has allowed us to reach a curb weight without fuel of 209 kilograms. The braking system has also been completely redesigned. At the front, a dual 305mm diameter disc makes its debut, paired with M432 radial calipers and a new axial master cylinder. This configuration increases modulation to always ensure excellent braking power. Knowing the importance of the rear brake in off-road riding, we specifically worked on the pedal geometry, making it even more controllable and precise in low-grip situations. The rear is equipped with a 265mm diameter disc and an axial double piston caliper, with the entire system supplied by Brembo. Finally, the levers, brake, and forge pedals are new and easily adjustable, so they can adapt to any riding style and always guarantee maximum control in all situations.
The chassis guarantees unprecedented agility. It's really easy to change direction, but above all, it makes riding very intuitive and, I would say most importantly, a lot of fun. You can really feel all the work that's been done on the braking system. It's an excellent balance between braking power, which is very useful on the road, but above all, modulation, which is extremely important off-road when grip changes and decreases. It's well known that off-road you always keep your fingers on the levers, and this new ergonomics makes your fingers much less tired. The seat is 880 millimeters high, but thanks to a particularly narrow inseam arch, it ensures very easy foot contact with the ground. Then a lowered suspension kit is available, as well as a low seat that lowers the whole system by 40 millimeters, bringing it down to 840 millimeters. Now I'm heading out again and going to meet Simone Franzetti, who is working on some refinements, testing, fine-tuning, and engine calibration. And together with him, we'll see more new features of the new DesertX.
When developing a maxi enduro like the DesertX, you have to pay the utmost care and attention to the suspension setup. For this reason, in this second generation, we decided to take a significant step forward by introducing a completely new fork and a full floater linkage system. At the rear, of course, we chose a fully adjustable fork. In fact, the hydraulic damping adjustment for both compression and rebound is now present on both cartridges. We also worked on the internal structure of the fork to ensure smoother movement and greater shock absorption capacity. But the biggest innovation, in fact, is found at the rear, where we decided to introduce the full floater linkage, which allows us to achieve a progressive behavior of the rear suspension. But what does progressive mean? In the graph, we can see a traditional, that is linear suspension, compared to the linkage we introduced on the new DesertX. The first one is easy to explain. The force generated by the suspension in response to an impact increases in step with the compression of the suspension itself in a linear way precisely. When instead we use a full floater linkage, this relationship becomes exponential or parabolic. This means that the force increases more and more as the suspension compresses further. But what is the advantage of this kind of solution? Well, it's very simple. While driving off-road, we are subjected to particularly intense events and therefore need to achieve extremely high forces. With a traditional linear solution, we would therefore need to choose an extremely stiff suspension setup, which would result in a loss of comfort. The linkage system, on the other hand, thanks to its characteristics, allows us to have a softer suspension that still provides the same, if not greater support than what we could have achieved with a traditional suspension. In this way, the new DesertX guarantees maximum comfort and top performance off-road. Now let's talk about the electronic package. We have worked extensively on the individual controls of this bike. The new DesertX has as many as 6 riding modes: sport, touring, urban, wet, enduro, and of course rally. An incredible level of customization for a bike in this segment. The rider therefore has the ability to change, with a single command, the throttle response, the maximum available power, engine brake management, ABS, and the traction and wheelie controls. All of this can also be done while riding using the dedicated info mod.
I have to say that I also noticed a significant improvement in the suspension, both at the rear, thanks to the linkage, and at the front. Thanks to the new settings, it's a revised fork. These components provide a stroke, with the initial part of the travel being very soft, making it suitable even for beginners. Let's say it's more for those just starting out, but then if you start to get serious or if you jump and off-road riding becomes more demanding, then in the second part of the travel you get more support. Electronic controls also help pilots of all experience and abilities. So what can I say? I've told you a lot of things, but we definitely haven't talked about design.
For the new DesertX, our approach was even more aligned with the form follows function philosophy. Everything on the bike has a reason to be there and is optimized and refined as much as possible to fit its purpose while being beautiful at the same time. From the very beginning, the main target was to make a clear step forward compared to the previous generation, moving towards something more modern and visually lightweight, inspired by contemporary rally motorcycles and creating a balance between robust and sophisticated design. As always, proportions are the first thing you notice on a bike. The body is visually lighter due to the reduction of colored elements, with a proud yet dynamic presence and a lifted minimalist tail, immediately conveying the sense of agility and performance. The front of the new DesertX is 20 mm lower than the previous generation without reducing suspension travel. This makes the overall stance much more dynamic and at the same time opens up the rider's field of view. while providing more space for accessories such as GPS units, road books, and so on. In addition, the top surfaces of the tank are lowered and shaped in a way that gives the sensation of a much more compact and approachable bike, giving confidence to every rider. The headlight, the silhouette, and the colors remain some of the most recognizable elements, which we felt were essential to preserve as a reminder of the DesertX bloodline. The cockpit is now more refined and complete, with the integration of several key features. 2 easy-to-use and easy-to-reach USB ports, Type A and Type C, a reinforced utility bar, now a standard with improved load-carrying capabilities, and easy access to the expansion tank, including a practical coolant level indicator on the side. The aerodynamic comfort has also been improved thanks to a more efficient windscreen design that reduces the turbulences of the helmet. The overall architecture of the bike is much more sophisticated as well, having structural elements which support all the fairings, but also integrate air channels that help with the airflow management, with the air being guided towards the rider and throughout the bike. The fuel tank itself is designed also to lower the center of gravity by shifting part of the 18-liter fuel volume downwards towards the sides, while maintaining a narrow leg area and optimized support for both off-road and on-road riding. The side fairings were developed in close collaboration with our testers, designed to cover just the right areas and provide seamless surfaces that inspire confidence in every riding condition. This is further enhanced by a dedicated texture applied in the most critical zones. And speaking of confidence, we introduced reinforced sliders on the side of the tank, supported by aluminum structures. These sliders are designed to be easy to replace and to provide additional impact absorption in the case of a fall, protecting the bodywork and everything critical inside. The riding position has been revised by slightly rotating the rider forward when riding in a standing position. This detail also contributes to a greater ease of use because it allows the rider to use their weight to steer the bike. The tail section remains very minimal and sporty, emphasizing the enduro-ready character of the bike. By reducing the amount of fairings, the trellis frame, which is a signature for Ducati, remains completely visible. This also allows for greater modularity with various accessories such as an auxiliary tank, passenger grab rails, luggage carriers, and exposing another key feature of the new DesertX, the linkage suspension. And there we have it. A significant amount of work also went into the development of the accessories. We designed a new auxiliary tank that increases the fuel capacity by 8 liters and includes side protectors with hooking mechanisms consistent of the front protection concept. We developed a bull bar that follows the bike's forms and follows the general gesture, introduced 2 different sizes of the windscreen, and adapted the set of aluminum Ducati cases with their dedicated carriers. A further new addition is the soft luggage kit developed in collaboration with Moscow Moto, offering adventure riders the opportunity to travel both on-road and off-road.
To certify the off-road capabilities of the new Ducati DesertX, we took it to very different scenarios and terrains. As Plamen says, design is not an end in itself, but is functional. And you can see it right away. It conveys a sense of adventure, robustness, and lightness. What can I say? A motorcycle designed to have no limits, the perfect travel companion for any adventure, born without boundaries.